I'm on my way to Eeshi-Ra Hart. She's one of the world's top experts on sound healing. I met her here a month ago, and I asked her if she has the time to sit with me and talk about what is sound healing and how does it work. And there's so many things, so many questions I have for her, and I'm really looking forward to meet her. So I'm on my way. In recent years, we've been hearing so many things about sound healing, where you go into a room, you lie on the floor, and you hear gongs and whistles and bells around you, and that's supposed to relax you. This is not what this is about. Eeshi-Ra is a true sound healer, and she has so much vast knowledge and experience in this that I wanted to speak to her directly and learn from her about this fascinating field. I even heard from one of her customers that it was an amazing, deep experience. And this is why I'm on my way, and I hope you enjoy this. Okay, so here with Eeshi-Ra.
Eeshi-Ra Hart. Yes.
Your heart.
I've been working with sound frequencies since 2001. And I'm originally a singer. And I really wanted to be in service. I was looking around at humanity and feeling that there was a problem that we have on this planet, which is a place of disconnection. We're either disconnected from ourselves, disconnected from the earth, disconnected from each other in a way where we're not fully connecting, we're not fully harmonious. And we're also possibly spiritually disconnected. So I opened a book at a conference, and the book was called The Role of Music in the 21st Century by Fabien Marmont. And he was working with frequency in the lab in Paris in vitro DNA. And he showed that using frequency, it started to emit light from the cells. And that started making me think like a scientist and thinking, wow, well, if we have this problem on the planet with all this disconnection, all this imbalance, all of this disharmony, is there perhaps a frequency or a series of frequencies we can give to the body? And I literally had a conversation to the divine or the universe. Can you show me that? I want to know that. And if you can show me that, I will be in service to that and do that for my life. And within 6 months after that, I received a dream. I was shown the awakening of humanity. And it was through the voice, and it was through specific frequencies, which are based on the codes of the body, the bones, the facial proportions, right down to the DNA. And I was shown that those frequencies or those proportions correspond to frequencies. So if we start to look at life in the universe as mathematics, and that being like a code, then we can take that code and we can convert it into sound and give it back to the body. And so for me, sound healing, we can say, if most people talk to you about sound healing, they might say, oh, it's something that I can go to for a sound healing journey, and I can lie down and have a beautiful relaxation, and that's sound healing. But I really like the literal definition of that. It's like, can we give healing frequencies to the body that actually not just change on emotional level, where someone might feel nicely relaxed, but can we bring them a truly healing experience? So if we think about someone who is working on technology and they are suffering from a disconnect from the earth, technology messes with our capacity to be connected to the earth. So if we have a binaural of the Schumann frequency, which is broadcasting 60 to 80 kilometers above us, that can have an amazing effect. It can reset sleep-wake cycles, it can affect body temperature, body metabolism, and it can even to protect us from EMF radiation effects. So I love, that's just one example of how we can use sound. And by doing that, we can change at a cellular level, which is where I've become really fascinated. And I've gone more deeply into frequency medicine as well, which is the use of frequency to target pathogens. so we can actually clear pathogens which may be coexisting in our body. For example, I cleared myself of E. coli back in 2008, I think it was, after eating a contaminated sandwich. And it almost felt like the whole thing was organized so that I can actually say, I had this experience, this happened to me, I fix this, and then I can guide others.
Why would people come to you? It sounds like traditional medicine only goes so far. So maybe you can go to that extent, and then what this sound healing can bring.
Yeah, that's a lovely question. And basically, what I've done is I've looked at humanity and I've thought, again, a bit like a scientist, and thought, what are our challenges? So the first course that I ever created was based on these frequencies. So there are a set of 18 frequencies, and these are giving a difference tone of 111 to the body. 111 is amazing because it keys into the brain. And if someone's coming and they're imbalanced, or they want energy clearing through the energy field, or they want to have more of a spiritual activation, so they want to have a pineal activation, or they actually have miasms through the field which represent a disconnection from source. I found when I started doing this work that all my clients had the same issues, which was a disconnect here in the field and the same distance below the feet, which corresponds to a connection to God. And I found that really fascinating. These frequencies, there's full 18, so many people know them as the Solfeggio, but they think there are only 6 or 9. But in fact, the full number set is 18. And this was guided to me by my mentor, Randy Masters, and he sat with Dr. Joseph Palayo, who was the author of the Biological Apocalypse, Healing Codes for the Biological Apocalypse. So if someone was coming and they had spiritual, energetic challenges, then I would give them that kind of session, 18 frequencies, 12 pairs through the energy field to the brain to help rebalance. But if they came and they were very ungrounded, a lot of people are, then I would be offering the Schumann with the 111 because it's a master frequency that does amazing things for us mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. It keys into the carbon in the body, the nitrogen in the body, oxygen in the body. And that keys into Fibonacci, which keys into the phi ratio. So if we talk about, there being a code to decode us or to align us spiritually, it's like our divine design. If we look at how we're living on the planet, we are out of balance in so many ways. So it's a way of giving these codes, this natural way of being through sound back to the body. So I then created the earthing modality, which is another course, which is working with the Schumann, which is the yang, the geomagnetic, which is the yin from the earth, which many people aren't talking about, the Om, which is the earth's rotation around the sun, so we're combining earth and solar energy, and the 111, which is a master frequency, as I've already said. And this is basically a frequency which takes the body to unity. So if we think about how does the energy of normal human life operate, how does it cause challenge in the body? It creates contraction, it creates fear, it creates stress, it creates shutdown, and then the energy flow is limited. And then that stagnates, and over time that can create physical challenge. But if we start giving the body movement of the energy and safety and connection, then the body can start to open and shift and basically take you to God, take you to unity. But obviously that is different for everyone, and it depends on what took them to that place of trauma. 111 is also the broadcasting frequency of the Purkinje cells of the reptilian brain. So when we give that to the body, it's also a reset. Damage to that part of the brain is causing autism, ADHD, multiple sclerosis, amongst many others. And then the third modality that I created was Cellular Sonics, and this was with Rachel Ellery, who's an osteopath. And we were looking at then physical challenges. So we could use 128. This is for stimulating nitric oxide. And there's over 10,000 papers on nitric oxide talking about the benefits of that. It helps reduce inflammation. And this is also connected to earthing. If you know about naturally getting your shoes off out on the earth, 85% of disease is caused by a lack of earthing. So this is a very beautiful frequency to stimulate that. We have ones for trauma release, also 64. This is a very, very deep frequency, very grounding, very soothing, and it also benefits circulation. Then we have the 50, which is the cat purr frequency. Cats heal themselves naturally with their own purr, and this is the average purr of a cat. Very good for bone fractures. So we also have, if we think about physical issues, what might someone else need? They might need pain relief. So 111, again, as a master frequency, it stimulates beta endorphins, which means that it's stimulating the body's own pain relief, which is 100 times stronger than giving chemical methadone. And of course, it's naturally coming from the body, so nothing external is needed apart from sound. And Dr. Meg Patterson, who's a Scottish doctor, in 1983, she supported Pete Townsend from the band The Who get off heroin using 111, broadcasting it to this bone behind the ear. So if we want to use sound for physical issues, then we have a massive choice of frequencies. And of course, if we were targeting pathogens, E. coli, so food poisoning, or we had parasites, or we had, Rife was an amazing man. In 1929, he cured every cancer patient that they could bring him. But of course, that work has been, that work is now re-emerging, which is wonderful. I truly believe that Edgar Cayce, the psychic, when he said, sound will be the medicine of the future, I add on to that and I say, the future is now. Yeah, so.
That brings me to another question. Why is it not mainstream? Who comes to, first of all, and what can you say to the doubters? Because it seems like this is like maybe a magic kind of a wand. Or what is the, maybe you can invite people who are doubting to try it out. What is the risk?
The people who come to me are generally the people who are ready. I want people who are ready to dive in deep to get the results they want. Maybe other things have failed them. And to the doubters, I just say, try it. What have you got to lose? Especially if you're sick, especially if other things aren't working for you. And if we just stop for a moment and ask the question, what is life? Everything is vibrating. If we stop for a moment, we can feel our heartbeat. We can feel an energy running through our bodies. We can feel energy between our hands. That's a vibration. And if we then expand our thought process out to, well, perhaps organs have different vibrations. Okay, so would it make sense then that each animal, each different organism that lives in our world also has a frequency? So if it's a way of communicating, and I would say, I would have one caveat within this. There's a lot of sound healing, in brackets, or in inverted commas, on YouTube. Be very careful of that. I have studied looking at how sound, like the dolphins use, they use the sound and then they load it with information like, hey guys, come over here to this bay. That's where the fish are. They load it with packets of information. Sound can be a carrier wave for other information. And it can also be a way of controlling consciousness. They've done this in the 60s with Phil Spector and pop music. He was very suspicious that this wouldn't even work, but that you could program, hey guys, come and ring this phone number. And over 1,000 people rang the number. So go to someone that you trust. Go to someone that feels right. Go to someone that feels like they have a good heart and that they're in the right place. Because I wouldn't say all sound healing is necessarily good or trustworthy. And that way you're investing your money in someone who is going to guide you in the deepest way, and you're going to have a beautiful experience. What I love about sound is it gives us the opportunity to witness the energy moving. And if we're engaging with the voice, we're in the body. We're not in the mind. So there is no opportunity for you to be in the mind, be in the story. You have to be present if you choose to be. Some clients, ultimately the client takes himself as deep as they want to go. So it's really up to them. I'm merely the way shower. And it's such a beautiful way back to ourselves because we have shut down over time. And people are even surprised when you place a tuning fork on. These are double weighted forks. These are actually for sexual orgasm. People are suddenly, wow, I can feel that. They're suddenly amazed that they have to shift out of their mind to be able to perceive that. And if they then go one step further and track, where is the sound vibrating in their body? You would think, oh, it's just here. But no, the sound is always working super efficiently. Universe likes to work efficiently. So it will always go to the weakest link. It's looking for the priority issue. And immediately you do that, then that person is tracking that, feeling that. And that's a beautiful gateway. That's a beautiful starting point. And if people are working with the breath, some of them, I'm just standing in a shop or I'm in a restaurant and I'm playing a tuning fork to their body, and they may suddenly just intuitively, the body's already having a release. I've worked with horses and I've worked with my own cat and other animals who have suffered trauma, and their body naturally starts to vibrate or open the jaw, or just move in unusual ways, which isn't something you've learned out of a book or in a yoga class. It's like the body just, it feels really good if I do that. And then suddenly something crunches and cranial bones align or something releases. The body's hugely intelligent. And once we can connect back to that knowledge, it's giving the client their power back. It's not saying, I can fix you. I'm saying, feel this. You fix yourself. You actually know. The body knows. Trust that. Lean into that. And that for me is exciting because it is bringing the power back to all of us. And this is all part of the awakening, the reset to earth, reset connection to body, connection to love, connection to our natural state, which I think is beautiful. And it's what's happening on the planet right now. Yeah, so sound for me is one of the best tools we have.
So I want to go to two areas. First of all, the noise.
Mm-hmm.
We're living in industrial environments.
Yes.
Can you talk to me more about maybe just the first step for healing through sound is to maybe notice that or remove yourself from that? Can you just speak to that?
Yes, we have two types of noise. We have obviously the physical noise that we can hear, and then we have the noise of technology, noise of electricity, noise of EMF radiation. And we're like a frog in a slowly boiling pan, slowly heating pan. I personally live in silence in my home. I don't listen to music. I might listen to motivational audios, but I don't listen to music, A, because most of it is out of tune anyway, and B, it just starts to go on repeat in my body. So the body, I feel, gets exhausted by being subjected to noise all the time. And being in silence, that's why I feel being in nature, obviously nature isn't silent either, but simply taking ourselves out of that kind of chaotic, urban, lifestyle with all the traffic and all the machines, or, the coffee shops or whatever it is, smoothie makers, just being in that silent place, the body starts to go, oh, I feel safe. Oh, I can let go. It's like that kind of armoring of trying to hold it all together, and yeah, I can keep on going, you know. It's important to give ourselves space, which is why I feel meditation is so helpful. But it doesn't have to be sitting on it and meditating on a cushion. It can be a dance practice. It can be something where energy is in motion. Personally, for me, that's my favorite, being with the flow of the body.
So I guess final question: how do people get in touch with you?
So if you'd like to connect with me and you're interested as a newbie, or you'd like to go to mastery level with sound, my website is Eeshi-Ra Heart. And you can also find me on Instagram. I'm not super active on there, but under Sonic Life Solutions. That's solutions for your life with sound.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate the opportunity.